Drama never sleeps when it comes to the love and hip-hop universe. And just when fans thought things couldn't get any more chaotic, a shocking twist has rattled everyone to the core. Whispers are swirling fast and the internet is ablaze with rumors that Lil Mendeecees, the son of Mendeecees Harris, has just landed himself in serious trouble, the kind of trouble that nobody saw coming. Allegedly, a confrontation with the young girl turned explosive, with some even claiming he raised his hand and things got physical. Now, this isn't just social media noise. Reports say law enforcement got involved and an arrest may have already been made. Fans are stunned, wondering what really went down behind the scenes. Was this a misunderstanding blown out of proportion? Or has Lil Mendeecees crossed a line that could change everything? Insiders close to the family are staying silent, but those on the outside are talking loud, and the narrative isn't looking good. Tensions are running high. Yandandi is reportedly devastated, and Mendeecees himself is caught in yet another family crisis. Stay with us as we dive deep into this wild situation and uncover all the drama, reactions, and secrets the cameras didn't catch. As the internet buzzed late into the night, one name began trending faster than anyone expected: Lil Mendeecees. It started with a few vague tweets, cryptic Instagram stories, and suddenly the streets of social media were screaming with unconfirmed reports. According to multiple gossip pages and what some are calling witnesses, Lil Mendeecees allegedly got into a heated argument with a young girl at a private house party in Atlanta. Some sources say it was just a shouting match. Others claim it turned physical, and now people are saying the police got involved. That's right. Fans are asking, did Lil Mendeecees just get arrested? People close to the situation are being tight-lipped, but insiders from the set of Love and Hip Hop have started whispering that this isn't just a regular teenage fight. This incident could potentially shake up the entire family's reputation, especially with how hard Yandandi and Mendeecees have worked to rebuild their image. The irony? Just last week, Yandandi posted a heartwarming family video with Lil Mendeecees praising how mature and respectful he's become. And now this. Allegedly, the girl involved in the altercation is someone Lil Mendeecees was dating. Not officially, but apparently they had been seeing each other for a few weeks. It's said that she showed up at the party unexpectedly, and when she saw him talking closely to another girl, things went south. According to the rumors, she approached him, words were exchanged, and then everything spiraled out of control. Some claim she raised her voice, accusing him of being unfaithful. Others say he tried to walk away, but she kept pushing him. And then boom, a slap. No one knows who slapped who, but by the time things calmed down, someone had already called the cops. And here's where it gets worse. When the police arrived, multiple partygoers allegedly backed up the girl's version of the story. They claimed Lil Mendeecees lost his temper and struck her. If that turns out to be true, we're not just looking at a family scandal. We're looking at legal trouble, a possible charge, and a serious stain on the Harris legacy. But nothing has been confirmed by the authorities yet, which is only fueling the fire. Fans are split down the middle. Some are defending him, saying he's too well raised to ever hit a girl. Others believe this is just another example of fame getting to a young man's head. Meanwhile, Mendeecees himself has not made a public statement, but insiders say he was furious when he found out, not just because of the allegation, but because he knows how quick the media is to judge, especially when it involves his name. He's reportedly been trying to reach his son nonstop, but Lil Mendeecees hasn't been answering his phone. Yandandi, on the other hand, is said to be heartbroken. People close to her describe her as pacing the house, crying, trying to figure out what really happened. She's always portrayed herself as a strong mother figure, doing everything to keep her kids grounded. Now, with her son in the middle of a media frenzy, she's struggling to hold it together. And the fans, they've already started digging. Some have even pulled up old clips from Love and Hip Hop where Lil Mendeecees showed signs of frustration, saying he felt overshadowed by his father's name. He's always had something to prove. One commenter wrote, maybe this was him finally snapping. Others are saying this could all be a setup that someone's trying to ruin his image just as he was starting to make a name for himself. Screenshots are circulating of the alleged victim's past tweets, some of which show her talking about wanting to be famous and catching a bag. Is that proof of anything? Not necessarily, but it's enough for people to start questioning her intentions. As the story develops, more footage is beginning to surface. One grainy video, allegedly from the night of the party, shows a group of teens arguing in a living room. You can't see faces clearly, but you can definitely hear shouting. Some people believe the voice yelling is Lil Mendeecees. Others argue there's no way to tell. Either way, fans are eating it up, analyzing every second, every syllable, trying to piece together the truth. What's real? What's just internet hysteria? But what makes this even more explosive is how other cast members are reacting. A few have taken to their Instagram stories to post cryptic messages. One wrote, "Watch who you let in your circle. Clout is a dangerous drug." Another simply posted, "I saw this coming." Now that could be about anything, but the timing is suspicious, especially since the girl involved allegedly has mutual friends with some of the newer cast members on Love and Hip Hop. Some are even suggesting she was trying to get her own storyline on the show. If that's true, this entire situation could be more staged than anyone thought. Still, nothing changes the fact that if these allegations are true, they're serious and they could change everything for the Harris family. Mendeecees has spent years trying to rebrand himself as a family man. He's been doing motivational speaking, posting uplifting messages, talking about redemption. Now all of that is in jeopardy. Not because of something he did, but because of what his son may have done. And what about the producers of Love and Hip Hop? They're staying quiet for now, but sources say they're in panic mode. If Looms gets officially charged, they'll have no choice but to cut ties or at least distance the show from the scandal. Some are even speculating that this could lead to a temporary production shutdown. Not because of legal reasons, but because the drama behind the scenes is spiraling out of control, and the show already has a fragile reputation to protect. It's a heartbreaking situation for the family, especially for Mendeecees, who has always tried to shield her kids from the darker side of fame. Those close to her say she feels blindsided, betrayed by the chaos. She's reportedly trying to reach out to the girl involved, trying to understand her side, trying to keep things from escalating even further. But sources say the girl's family isn't open to that. They're upset, they're hurt, and they want accountability. Whether that means pressing charges, going public, or something else, no one knows yet. And just when it seemed like the night couldn't get any more intense, another rumor began to circulate. Someone at the party may have recorded the entire confrontation. If that's true, and if that video leaks, we're talking about a complete media explosion. Already, blogs are offering money for the footage. People want to see it to confirm what happened to either clear Lil Mendeecees' name or seal his fate. And that's where we'll pick up next because this story is far from over. The tension had already reached a boiling point. But what happened next made everything spiral even further. Just hours after rumors of the incident began flooding social media, a shocking audio clip started making rounds online. The recording, allegedly taken by a party guest, featured a male voice yelling something like, "Don't touch me," followed by the sound of a loud slap, gasps, and then chaos. No faces, no confirmation, just voices. But the internet didn't need much to make assumptions. Fans were quick to claim the voice belonged to Lil Mendeecees. Some said it matched his tone from previous Love and Hip Hop scenes. Others were more skeptical, but the narrative was already out there. The audio only added fuel to the fire. Within minutes, blogs and gossip channels picked it up, each adding their own spin. Headlines ranged from proof that Lil Mendeecees lost control to, "Is this the moment everything changed?" No one really knew what had happened, but the story was already taking on a life of its own. What started as whispers was now an all-out storm. And while the internet debated over the clip's authenticity, Mendeecees Sr. was finally able to reach his son. According to someone close to the family, their phone conversation was anything but calm. Mendeecees allegedly demanded answers, asking, "What did you do? Do you know what kind of position you've put this family in?" Mendeecees reportedly didn't say much at first, only insisting that the story wasn't what people thought. He kept saying they're twisting everything. It wasn't like that, but Mendeecees wasn't convinced. He knows how quickly public opinion can turn. How one mistake, one misunderstanding can destroy everything. And more than anything, he was hurt. Hurt that his son may have put himself in such a situation. Hurt that the media now had another scandal to feast on using the Harris name. Meanwhile, Yandandi was trying to hold things together on her end. According to family friends, she broke down after hearing the audio. She didn't want to believe it was real, didn't want to imagine her son being involved in anything so violent. But the fear in her voice, the way she reportedly kept repeating, "This can't be happening," said it all. She's always stood by her son, always protected him, even when others doubted him. Now she was facing the terrifying thought that maybe, just maybe, this time things had gone too far, and the girl involved still silent. But rumors suggest her family had already contacted a lawyer. Whether that means they're planning legal action or just protecting themselves from media backlash isn't clear. What's clear is that they're not backing down. And if charges are filed, things could get even uglier for the Harris family. On social media, fans were deeply divided. Some started a hashtag defending Lil Mendeecees, arguing that there was no real proof yet and that the story was being blown out of proportion. Others launched full-on cancel campaigns, tagging the Love and Hip Hop producers, demanding he be removed from any future appearances. The divide was intense, emotional. People weren't just gossiping, they were choosing sides. But then came the most unexpected twist so far. A second girl stepped forward. This new girl, who claims to have been at the party, posted a long message on her Finsta account, which fans later screenshotted and spread like wildfire. In her post, she insisted that Lil Mendeecees didn't start the fight. She wrote, "He tried to walk away. I saw it. He told her to stop, but she kept pushing him, calling him names, grabbing him. I don't know what happened after that because people started yelling, but it wasn't one-sided." That statement changed everything. Suddenly, people started questioning the earlier narrative. Was Lil Means the aggressor, or was he reacting to being provoked? Should he have walked away, or did he feel trapped? The second girl's post didn't clear things up. It made them more complicated, and that's exactly what kept the internet hooked. With so many conflicting stories, the only thing that seemed certain was that this wasn't going away anytime soon, especially not after another unexpected move. Lily's deleted all of his Instagram posts. Fans took that as a sign. Some said it meant he was guilty, hiding from the backlash. Others believed it was part of a legal strategy to avoid any public comments being used against him later. Either way, it caused another wave of speculation. People were refreshing his page, waiting to see if he'd say anything, post anything, acknowledge the situation in any way. By the next morning, paparazzi were already circling Yandy and Mendeecees' home. Drones, camera vans, journalists parked down the street. The media frenzy was real. One tabloid even offered money for an exclusive interview with the girl involved, which her family reportedly declined for now. But sources close to her hinted that they were considering a sit-down interview with the major platform, maybe even a tell-all moment that could flip the story again. In the midst of all this chaos, some of Mendeecees' former friends started speaking out. A few posted vague tweets about karma and watching people's true colors show. Fans quickly started digging through old friendships, trying to figure out if there was more behind this. Could jealousy or resentment be playing a role in how the story was being shaped? Was someone trying to bring him down just as he was trying to build something of his own? And then came the police report leaked to a blog notorious for publishing unconfirmed stories. The document claimed that officers responded to a disturbance call at the party location and interviewed multiple witnesses. The report allegedly stated that there were conflicting accounts of what happened and that the situation was under investigation. No arrests were made at the scene, but one name was mentioned: Lil Mendeecees Harris. While the authenticity of the document hasn't been verified, fans took it as confirmation. They started resharing the post, adding comments like, "It's real now and this is going to ruin everything." Some started tagging sponsors and brands that had recently worked with the family, calling for them to pull out. Others begged them to stay quiet, to wait until the full truth came out. It was chaos, and it was growing by the minute. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get more intense, word started spreading that Love and Hip Hop producers had scheduled an emergency meeting. Insiders say they're debating whether to address the situation on the show or cut it out completely. Some producers allegedly want to lean into the drama, use it to boost ratings. Others are concerned about crossing legal lines or damaging relationships with the family. The decision isn't easy, and whatever they choose, it'll have long-term consequences. But perhaps the most heartbreaking part of all this is how silent Lil Mendeecees remains. Not a single post, not a single statement, nothing from his side except silence. And that silence is loud. It's raising questions, feeding speculation, making people wonder what's really going on behind closed doors. Mendeecees, for his part, is said to be doing everything he can to manage the fallout. Meeting with attorneys, calling in favors, trying to get ahead of the narrative before it completely spirals. He's been in the game long enough to know how quickly public perception can turn into permanent damage. But this time, it's not just about his own image. It's about his son. And that makes it personal. And as for Yand and Mendy, she's reportedly reached her breaking point. People close to her say she hasn't slept, hasn't eaten much, and is constantly checking her phone for updates. She's torn between believing her son and fearing the worst. One friend even described her as living a mother's nightmare. This wasn't just a scandal for Yand and Mendy. It was a moment where everything she worked so hard to protect felt like it was crashing down. But little did they know, the next twist was just around the corner. The storm hadn't even settled when something even more unexpected came to light. A third witness, someone who claimed to be a cousin of one of the partygoers, posted a voice note on Snapchat that was later screen recorded and reposted across social platforms. In the note, the voice nervously admitted, "Yeah, I saw it. But he ain't hit her like how they say. He just pushed her off when she kept grabbing at him. It looked like he panicked. That's it." This added yet another layer of confusion, and the public reaction exploded all over again. Within hours, blogs had stitched together timelines, witness statements, and fan theories trying to reconstruct what really happened that night. It had become more than a scandal. It was now an internet investigation. Fans were playing detectives, comparing angles, checking timestamps, looking for inconsistencies in the stories. Some were defending Lil Mendeecees even harder now, while others doubled down on their criticism, saying, "A push is still physical. It's still wrong." But the person who seemed to be struggling most was Yandandi. Her friends revealed that she was becoming increasingly isolated, not even responding to calls from close castmates. One insider shared that she kept saying, "I raised him better. I know I did." But those words didn't bring her peace. Not when every hour brought a new leak, a new rumor, a new headline threatening to destroy her son's future and her own hard-earned image. Mendeecees, on the other hand, took a more aggressive stance. According to someone close to the family, he told Yandandi, "We can't let the internet tell our story. We need to get in front of this." He even floated the idea of doing a live interview with a trusted media outlet, not to deny or admit anything, but to clarify the values he instilled in his children and ask the public for patience while the truth unfolds. Yandi reportedly shut the idea down immediately. She felt it was too risky, that speaking publicly would only add fuel to the fire. But Mendeecees believe silence was making things worse. "They think silence means guilt," he allegedly told her. "And right now, our silence is costing us everything." The tension between them started spilling over into their daily lives. Insiders claimed they were arguing constantly behind closed doors, not just about the Mendeecees, but about how to handle the crisis. The stress was cracking their united front. What used to be a strong co-parenting team was now showing signs of strain, with both blaming the other silently or directly for how their son had ended up in this mess. As for Lil Mendeecees, sources said he was hiding out at a friend's apartment, avoiding cameras, paparazzi, and even some of his family. Reportedly, he didn't want to face his parents until he had a chance to breathe and think. His friend allegedly told someone he's not okay. He's stressed, scared, and feels like no matter what he says, nobody's going to believe him. But then came the most shocking move yet. The girl at the center of the incident finally broke her silence. In a carefully worded Instagram story, she didn't name anyone directly, but her message sent waves through the internet. She wrote, "Sometimes walking away is the strongest thing you can do. Sometimes what people think happened isn't what really happened. I'm okay. I'm healing. But please respect my peace. Some read this as an attempt to de-escalate the situation. Others felt it was her way of hinting that the situation wasn't as violent as originally believed. But no matter how people interpreted it, one thing was clear: the narrative had taken yet another turn. And that's when the law got officially involved. Late that evening, Tims and several verified news outlets confirmed that Lil Mendeecees had been brought in for questioning. Not arrested, but officially questioned as part of an ongoing investigation into the alleged incident. Fans were quick to jump on the update, flooding social media with mixed reactions. Some tweeted, "See, told y'all it was serious," while others said, "They're just doing this because of who his parents are." The pressure was now unbearable. Love and hip-hop producers were reportedly in full panic mode. Some wanted to cut Lil Mendeecees completely from upcoming storylines. Others were pushing to bring cameras back to capture the fallout, believing it could be the most powerful and possibly the most watched season yet. But legal teams were involved now, and any wrong step could lead to lawsuits. So production was frozen until further notice. Back at home, Mendeecees was making calls nonstop, reaching out to his lawyer, his old industry connections, and even people in media to find ways to shift the conversation. He wanted to create space for his son to explain, or at least let the dust settle before any more damage was done. Meanwhile, Yami had taken a completely different approach. She reached out to a therapist, reportedly not just for herself, but to convince Lil Mendeecees to attend the session and unpack what really happened that night. But getting him to agree wasn't easy. The boy felt betrayed by friends who spoke out, by a public that rushed to judge him, and by a family that he thought would stand by him without hesitation. One source said he told a cousin, "It's like they all think I'm guilty already. What's the point of even explaining?" That comment hurt the family deeply, especially Yan and Mendy, who was doing everything she could behind the scenes to protect him. And then came another shocking blow. An anonymous source leaked footage from outside the party. While it didn't capture the alleged slap or altercation, it did show Lil Mendeecees arguing loudly with someone near the driveway. While he never laid hands on anyone in the clip, the aggressive tone, clenched fists, and body language sparked another wave of criticism. People began saying he had anger issues or couldn't control himself, painting him as someone who had just been waiting for a moment to explode. This new video added fuel to the growing conversation around fame, pressure, and how reality TV stars' kids handle the spotlight. Some people started blaming the parents, saying Mendeecees and Yan and Mendy put their kids in the public eye too early. Others blamed the show itself, calling love and hip-hop toxic and dangerous for families. And in the middle of it all was a teenage boy whose future now seemed uncertain. What made the situation even more complicated was the sudden involvement of activists and public figures. Some stepped forward to defend Lil Mendeecees, saying young black men are often criminalized before the facts come out. Others called for accountability, saying violence in any form can't be tolerated, especially not from someone in the public eye. The conversation was no longer just about one boy at a party. It had grown into a national debate. And just when it seemed like things couldn't possibly get more complicated, news broke that another girl from the party had hired an attorney. She hadn't claimed to be a victim, but said she was traumatized by what she witnessed and was considering a civil suit for emotional distress. This new twist sent shockwaves through the fan base. Was she doing it for clout? Or was there even more to the story than anyone realized? By now, the pressure on Men's and Yan Andy was overwhelming. Their brand partnerships were starting to back away. A fashion line that had featured Lilies in their recent campaign removed his photos from their website. A podcast, Yan and Mendy, had been scheduled to appear on, postponed the episode indefinitely. Their publicist issued a vague statement urging people not to rush to judgment, but it felt hollow. The damage had already been done, and while the world continued to speculate, argue, and dissect every detail, the family was left trying to hold themselves together behind closed doors. But the real storm, the one that would change everything, was still on its way. As the dust of the initial chaos barely began to settle, things took a dark return within the Harris household. The follow-up from Lil and Mendeecees' alleged involvement in the incident had sparked something deeper. Emotional storm that neither Yandandy nor Minx had prepared for. While the media frenzy grew louder and rumors multiplied by the hour, it was what happened behind closed doors that truly shook the foundation of the family. According to someone close to the situation, Mendeecees had been avoiding the cameras and the public eye altogether. He wasn't taking calls, wasn't answering texts, and had gone completely silent. But it wasn't just the media he was avoiding, it was his son. Sources claimed that Mendeecees felt betrayed not only by the situation, but by how blindsided he was. "I gave him every opportunity," he was allegedly heard saying. "How did we end up here again?" Yandandy, on the other hand, was stuck in the middle, trying to protect her son, mend her husband's wounded pride, and manage the public perception all at once. She'd been crying nonstop, pacing the house while scrolling through thousands of tweets, all analyzing and tearing apart their family. "I knew this reality tid life would come with backlash," she told a friend over the phone. "But I never thought it would be my son at the center of a scandal like this." Inside their home, the tension grew unbearable. Mendeecees had locked himself in his room for days, only coming out for food or to use the bathroom. There were rumors that he refused to talk to anyone, even Yandandy. She'd knock softly on his door every morning and whisper, "Baby, just come talk to me. We'll figure this out together." But most days there was only silence on the other side. The emotional weight of the public scrutiny had begun to eat away at him. He reportedly wasn't sleeping, barely eating, and had started deleting his social media apps to escape the wave of judgment. It was around this time that new developments started surfacing. Unconfirmed reports that another girl had come forward claiming she witnessed the incident and that the slap wasn't just a rumor. Though the girl refused to go public, a few blogs picked up the story and ran wild with it. One headline read, "Second witness cause Lil Mendeecees put hands on Burl during argument." Although the article didn't offer much evidence, fans ran with it. Emotions ran high in the fandom. Some users jumped to defend Lil Mendeecees, insisting he was a good kid caught in a bad situation, while others demanded immediate legal action. Hashtags like #JusticeForHer and #CancelDC started trending again. The entire internet felt like it had turned into a courtroom with everyone playing judge and jury. Back at home, Yandandy was now dealing with another crisis. The school board had caught wind of the situation, and there were whispers that Lil Mendeecees could be facing disciplinary actions. An emergency parent-teacher conference was scheduled. During the meeting, school officials expressed deep concern about the reputational impact of the story and warned that if more evidence surfaced, suspension or worse could be considered. Mendeecees finally emerged from isolation after being informed about the school's possible action. He and Yandandy sat down for what sources described as the most raw and emotional conversation they'd ever had. "I feel like I'm losing him," Yandy confessed to Men's tears in her eyes. "And if we don't step in now, we might lose him forever." In that moment, something shifted in Mendeecees. No longer the silent and brooding father, he stepped up. He walked straight into his son's room, shut the door behind him, and sat across from him. The conversation that followed wasn't loud, it wasn't angry. It was quiet, painfully quiet. "Do you even understand how serious this is?" Mendeecees asked. Lil Mendeecees' eyes red responded softly, "I do, but no one's asking me what really happened." What followed next shocked Mendeecees. His son began to share a version of the story no one had heard. According to Lil Mendeecees, the girl had been filming him on her phone without his permission, taunting him with personal insults related to his family and past. She kept saying, "I was just like you." He told his father like going to jail was in my blood. He admitted to raising his